You're watching Sun TV, broadcasting to the world from studios in Providenciales, in the beautiful binational Turks and Caicos Islands. Sun TV, your source for real news as it happens.
I'm Tadleen Dafferlin, and thanks for watching this edition of Sun TV News. People are still talking about the most recent Sister event, which took place last week Friday at Mango Reef, that celebrated women under the theme, My Mother, My Daughter, My Sister, and My Friends. The event was hosted by Sister Turks and Caicos, which is an organization that brings awareness to women and helps to empower women to help better themselves for the future. Former Deputy Premier and Minister of Education, Mrs. Lillian Boyce, is founder, Bethia Robinson is Public Relations Officer, Melanie Smith is Chairperson, and Wilder Williams is President. The night was filled of excitement, joy, and fun as mothers, daughters, sisters, and friends came together and celebrated the love and happiness that they shared towards one another. Special guest speaker Honorable Josephine Connolly, Member of Parliament and Deputy Speaker, gave a speech on the importance of mothers, daughters, sisters, and friends in each other's lives. Mrs. Connolly spoke about her mother and the important role that she plays in her life. She said her mother installed in them Christian values and driving ambition in all of her children to be the best that they can be. The Deputy Speaker said when she was growing up, she didn't have the amenities that kids have now, for example, the television and video games, but she had a house filled with love.
My mother was and still is the rock of our family. She brought up 7 children, sometimes on her own because my father was always at sea. She is a very humble woman who installed in us all Christian values and a driving ambition to be the best that we can be. Growing up in Salkey, we did not have the amenities we have now, such as the television, video games, and the like, to keep us occupied. But we had a house filled with love and laughter. And that, I think, is the role of every mother, to provide unconditional love for her children. And of course, to ensure that they are happy. There is an old saying that only a mother could love her children, or him or her. And that is so true because it is a mother's love that sustains her children and her family, even in the hardest of all times.
Mrs. Connolly added that as she reflected on her life, she saw herself being more and more like her mother. She also shared some of her childhood memories. Here's what she had to say.
As I get older and reflect on my life, I find myself becoming more and more like my mother. In my younger days in Grand Turk, a very long time ago, if I was late getting home, my mother would put her headscarf on and sat down Front Street looking for me. Once found, I would be unceremoniously marched to home. At that time, I thought it was the worst thing that could happen to me. But as I've gotten older, I appreciate that my mother acted out of concern. A concern born of love. And now, I find myself following in my mother's footsteps and worrying about my children. So much so that it is a family joke that when I get worried, they say, I'm getting ready to put my headscarf on. The hindsight of passing years and growing maturity have slowly revealed my mother's real value. I look now and I am humble. I see the enormity of raising 7 children. I marvel at the strength of will and determination that kept her going. Her arms were always open when we needed a hug. Her heart understood when we needed a hand, a friend. Her gentle eyes were stern when we needed a lesson. Her strength and love has guided each of us and gave us wings to fly.
Mrs. Connolly shared a saying with us, quote, "A son is a son until he finds a wife, but a daughter is a daughter all her life." She shared her love for her daughter and encourages all mothers to shape their daughters. She explained in this clip.
And now to my daughter, who has given me so much joy. But I must be careful, for like any mother, I could spend hours telling you about my daughter. There is an old saying, a son is a son until he finds a wife. A daughter is a daughter all of her life. And it is true that the bond between a mother and a daughter can never be broken, although sometimes it gets stretched a bit. I suppose if I had one wish, that would be when my daughter gets older and she holds me in the same esteem as I hold my mother.
Mrs. Connolly also spoke on the love of a sister and all that they have in their lives.
All my sisters are strong-willed, opinionated women, and I respect them. I am a middle child, so I have an elder sister I have to look up to and a younger sister who I hope looks up to me. The one common theme that runs through my relationship with my sisters is love. We often do not agree, but we are bound together by love. So much as we disagree, we cannot break free of the deep love that we have for one another. My sisters have inherited the same spirit as my mother. They are all empowered and have succeeded in areas sometimes assumed to be male prerogative. I toast to my sister's successes.
Well, that's our Sun TV News Brief for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you real news as it happens directly to your computer, mobile device, or smartphone. If you know anyone living overseas who would like to keep up with what is happening in the Turks and Caicos Islands, get them to email us at sun@suntci.com so we can add them to our mailing list to get Sun TV News. Thanks for watching. I'm Tadleen Dafferlin.